I mean, we is an application which has X number of users using us, but they are still primarily Facebook users, right? And while Facebook is kind enough to give us access to that data, I don't think that data belongs to us. So in terms of a company working out its user acquisition strategy, yes, you do get access and privileges to contact those users, but are they still your users, or has Facebook figured out models in which startups can go and code that, okay, I have this many application users, which in some senses to a VC translates to this many independent site users. Is the question clear?
I think the basis of your question is that when a user registers on your site, he's your user, but if he's connecting to Facebook, he's probably not your own.
It's about ownership of data. And setting terms of services. So the user has entered the name, the picture, etc., which still belong to Facebook. And while my application is allowed to cache them, it's still not my data, right? And including an email ID.
Active for 24 hours, and then it's supposed to be
Yes.
past the down the line.
Exactly.
Vishal is saying the identity issue. Right. So the identity, you are using the identity as represented in Facebook. Right. So then is that user really your user?
So I think nobody owns the user. I think the user will interact with your site as long as they're interested. Right?
I have
2 months ago there was a nice whole, photo about the whole terms of service.
Right, exactly.
So basically, it's a concern that a lot of people have about some sort of mutual sharing of that information. If the user has finally said, I accept and I want to share this information with this particular system, I would like to catch that information forever, if required. I'll give you a specific reason, because the way Facebook changes its code on a weekly, daily, whatever basis, I have to go back and fix my stuff every day, every week, because it just doesn't work. One fine day something just stops working because Facebook has decided to change something. They gave advance notice, but at the end of it, you really cannot go out there and figure out what changes before it changes. So it's a question of ownership of who owns it and how we can finally have some more rights, because at the end both of us need each other. I we will have, because you guys have the users and you guys need the app to get to the next set of users. So it's a mutual.
It's a mutual risk.
I think probably I'll just expand on his part in the question that probably considers a lot of app developers would have. Is that probably Facebook may have their own set of developers, and you probably would have gathered some set of data. Now, when he lands onto my application page, and probably I have my own end user access agreement that end user accepts. Probably the data that I'm not making use of, I should probably be allowed to cache longer than 24 hours. I think probably that would be the concern of most of the application developers, especially when looking to monetize.
Right. So I think there's 2-3 sub-questions there. One is the data caching policy, right? One is the stability of the platform. Which is it related to data caching policy?
It is connected, because often the API tends to have a problem, and that causes problems on other systems. So it's kind of all connected together. If I cache it, then I don't have to connect to the API all the time. I mean, I would do it on a daily basis to refresh my information, but I wouldn't need to do it on every click of the user, every time I say refresh.
Right. Okay. So if the API was more stable, then you would be okay with the data caching policy. So it's separate issue. Okay. So I think so API stability is a pretty easy question to answer, right? I think there's a fine balance between moving fast and making sure it's nothing big. So if we go back and look at the platform evolution slide, so much stuff has changed in 2 years that it's amazing, right? None of the application integration with Facebook.com as well as Connect integration look nowhere similar to how it was just 2 years back. So Facebook has chosen to move fast in this area because there's a lot of stuff that can be done. Although, obviously, when 350,000 applications are on the platform, we cannot break things, and we work consciously to improve that each and every day. But we know that it's not a job completed by any means. So that's for the API stability. As far as the caching policy is concerned, there are a couple of things there. One is synchronization. If you cache the data, like I remember one application which cached my profile pic in spite of the policy and whatnot, and it continues to show my profile pic from 2 years back. Then I look thinner and like whatever. So, but now it doesn't make sense. So I don't like it. Seriously, I don't like it. So I think it's good for synchronizing the data with the user with keeping on Facebook. The other thing is, since the process is so low friction of connecting, the user has to trust the website they're connecting with. And that trust is acquired on a long-term basis. So we want the user to have the ability to disconnect with that website in the long run.
There's a more pointed question there. What if the user disconnects from Facebook itself? I mean, there was a big thread with the Canadian lawsuit yesterday. So all these applications have user, and the user for no part of the application decides to leave Facebook, right? He's losing all these users at once. I mean, so I mean, the question was both ways. There is one Facebook reconnect that you can reconnect with the application, but there needs to be something the other way around too.
So, I'm not familiar with the Canadian thing because I was like out there, and yeah, it's a bad question, but I probably won't have something completely clear on that. So there's an entire policy team on Facebook which I don't really interact with much, and they can know much better answers to your questions than me, and I can definitely hook you up with them. There's a policy at Facebook.com. This is just another example of widget that we launched at. When we talk about Facebook in India, we talk about what's the penetration of Facebook in India, as well as Facebook users in India, as well as what kind of different applications are being built. I think the Facebook market in India is still pretty nascent. There are like quite a few users, the growth is pretty good, but there is a lot of scope for applications to address the Indian market. So there are 51,000 Indian developers actually, but they're not enough. There's like, if I look at the applications I use very few India-based applications on Facebook. These are the partners that we have in different verticals. There is Cricket vertical, obviously. There's mobile, news, and education. They're doing very interesting stuff. So Cricket.com lets you share stuff with your friends on Facebook, and Cricket Next has the feed widget implemented in there, right? Games to Win, as Alok talked about, has done pretty good stuff with Facebook as well, like engaging your friends. Using Facebook to get more and more friends to play with them. What's next? Facebook has been doing a lot of improvements recently. We are working on, as I talked about the widgets, we are working on a new widget flow for widget makers to have a very low friction for other developers who want to embed Facebook widgets on their site. So for example, you can easily embed FB comments on your site, but if you want to use discuss commenting widget on your site, you have to go to the application page and developer application, create an application, go back to discuss, and then embed the widget from there. We are working on a new flow which makes that process as smooth as embedding FB comments on your site. Similarly, we're testing out the payments platform in the US right now, and we'll see how that goes. I hope it will be pretty good for monetizing the audience.
Sorry, is there a payment process?
Payments platform.
Payment process platform?
Yeah.
Is that with respect to e-commerce?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So what's next?
Is there any strategy with respect to Facebook chat and Facebook Connect? Can we look for some announcement on how users can start using Facebook chat within their application?
Right. So essentially a site visit.
Yeah, I am across. I know Vivo does it, but I think only Vivo does it right now.
I think it's a good idea. I think we should do it. So the next step for you guys, I hope, is to, if you're not working on it, integrate